My favorite way to travel is by walking. My favorite thing to do on Saturdays is to go to a new part of a city that I know or an entirely new city and explore it. My favorite time of day is right before the sun goes down. Oak trees are my favorite trees, but I'm very allergic to them, which somehow seems metaphorical. I'm Kinsey, and I am a marketing and communications strategist, and I'm also a freelance writer, and artist, and creative writer, and lots of ands. So I've been a freelance journalist for 5 years, I think now, writing primarily about arts and culture, and that is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've also been practicing art since, as long as I can remember. So it's not something that I do with a lot of intention to get into galleries and that kind of thing. It's just a necessary part of the way that I consume and digest information. And then I also do marketing and PR strategy for an artist who's based out of Vancouver and who is going on tour with a new series of paintings that he's made. And that experience I wouldn't have had if I didn't have the background in both writing and being published in big publications and in promotional content. All of my work, the marketing, the freelance writing, the creative writing, and the art are all just extensions of what I love to do fundamentally, which is learn new things. And they're all just different ways to consume and kind of reconfigure the information that I'm gathering all the time. So I started in much the same way that I started writing in one way or another when I was very young. I started making art very young. And as a kid, it was nothing to write home about. It wasn't like people saw my work and thought it was some kind of prodigy. That never happened. But it's just something that is important to me. In my art and in other people's art, I like when somebody takes something that is universal and flips it and tells it in their own way. So their own perspective or their own, their own kind of take on something that we all understand. For me, art is just whatever you create, and I think there's good art, but I don't think there's really boundary lines to what could be considered art. I think it's really common among millennials to have these kind of personas and personas, people who haven't chosen one specific discipline to pursue, and they pursue a lot of passions simultaneously. I think that some of that is because we want it all and we want it now, and we're willing to work for it. So for me, I knew that I wanted to stay involved in the arts, and I wanted to stay involved in creative writing because it matters to me. I knew that I needed a job that would actually, give me the kind of lifestyle that I wanted, but was also something that was interesting intellectually. And both freelance writing and marketing were, a near perfect alignment with my interests and skill sets. So not wanting to give up any of those 4 things meant that I kept doing all of them. My advice for creative young people would just be to make stuff, and when you're ready to share it, start sharing it. And if you're afraid, then actually this was really good advice from a friend of mine. She just recently started pursuing art full-time, and her career's really taken off already in a couple of months. And she said that if you have fear, you have to either live with your fear and decide that you're going to let that be something that stops you, and that's okay, or get over it and start doing stuff, and that decision is okay too. You just have to acknowledge that the fear is there and make the choice. What do you call a nun in a wheelchair? A Roman Catholic. That's pretty good.